Well, hello everyone, this is Crossfire. Welcome to another tutorial series on Unity 3D and Playmaker. Today we have reached 100 subscribers thanks to everyone who subscribed to my channel and watched my videos. That means a lot to me. So uh, I want to talk about some stuff. Late Night Idle Talk here has requested um, how to uh, make the reloading system in the FPS video, so I'll be focusing on that. So this would be a something like a giveaway series, I guess. So in this playlist, I would be just uh, addressing you people so that I can communicate well. So and after that, I would yeah here complete main menu system scores and power-ups to complete the gameplay. That was for the Endless series, so I'll be covering this up in its playlist. So, and this was a good suggestion by Mint Arcade, which actually I didn't update for the project. So let's jump into Unity and let's just get running. So I was trying to learn Metasploit, which is a penetration testing tool. So if you are interested, I recommend the New Boston videos for how to learn this. They're cool. I mean, don't use it for hacking some neighbors' Wi-Fi or something. But this is completely like if you want to build up a defense for your own system, then that's useful. So that's what you should do. So this actually, I wanted to say something about this video right here. This was actually the video which I made while I was creating uh, okay yeah while I was creating the terrain model for the Infinite Runner series. So you can find that uh, I will upload them to a Dropbox link. I'll post them in the description below so that it would act as a giveaway as well as help you along with the tutorial series. So that's what we need to do. So actually this was a project that I was working on for some weird creators that I created. So I actually did not list them in my videos because they're horrible. So this was for rigging the basic creator that I created for the project. It was made in Sculptris, and then I rigged it in Blender, then brought it to Unity and made it run and whatnot. So it was quite an interesting topic. So and these two are um, a personal project which I was trying to actually make an AI system which actually was blind. It was like a zombie. Like it would detect with the sound of how the player moves. So that was the basic objective of these two videos. And you can see Chris De Leon from Gamkedo. I was watching his video and doing the project. He's such a motivational guy. You should subscribe to him. I'll drop a link in the description below so you can get to him. Of course, you might have already known him, but if you didn't, just go forward. So this is my train model. as you can see. But what I did here is I put up the ambient intensity to over 2, sorry for that, so that they look like, you know, completely lightened up. So that was the basic objective of that. So let's go to our basic scene. So it was this, I guess, yes, part 1 movement. So there we go. So first of all, let's fix the basic smooth movement that was a little bit stuttery as we play. So go to main camera and I'll just disable this and add a smooth follow action, and I'll stick the player main to this. I'll give it a distance of 5 and a height of 3, I guess. Let's just test it out. I'll just save the scene and hit play. It doesn't matter how your game looks, but you should understand the basic, mechanism of how exactly the game functions. So that is what exactly scripting is. So we need not focus on art always. So games like Thomas Was Alone and whatnot, I mean, even Spelunky was a awesome indie game that people released. So now we could see that it is not, I mean, it doesn't have any lag while moving off. It is smooth. So that's what we need. So now let's just add in the coins. So actually, for the coins stuff, I'll just create a new scene. Otherwise, I'll just take out the platforms script, and I'll just delete this, or I'll just disable this for future purposes. But what I intended to do is just make a PowerUp system. So this is our plane. So let's just, actually I made a coin, yeah, there it is. So this is our coin. So we'll just rotate it by -90 and scale it up a little bit so you can see it. Yeah, so this is going to be spawned at different places. So let's say that, it should be spawned in exactly the x coordinate which the player can move, because we don't want the coin to be somewhere in the middle like this. But that can be made in a scenario where the movement is kind of similar to Temple Run. So that uses the acceleration of the device. So for now, we'll just focus on the 3 lanes. So this is our coin, and I'll just go to Playmaker, and actually before that, I'll add a component, and I'll say this is my, I guess, capsule collider. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good, but it's too big, I guess. Ouch. Okay, so that's good. Okay, we'll just leave it at 0.25, and this is going to be acting as a trigger. So I'll just add a quick FSM, and I'll say that collected. And in the first state, I'll just say trigger event, and on trigger enter, collide tag is set to player, and make sure that player is tagged as player. And now we'll send an event that's called collected. Sorry, yeah, collected coin, and this will end up in state 2, where actually before we start everything, we'll just go to variables and open up global variables here and stick it in here, and I'll add a new variable which is going to be an integer, and it's going to be coins, so that we can actually count the coins collected by the player. So we'll just go to state 2 and then say add int, sorry, and I'll add 1 to global's coin, and it will just let's say is vector 3, and I'll just explain it in a bit. Set scale, so this is going to be, let's just make it 2 first of all. Yeah, so I'll store the scale of this coin in a vector, and this is going to be scale underscore coin, something like that. So I'll just go to variables and then give this a value of 2, sorry for that. So I gave it a scale of 2 to 2, and now I'll just go back to set scale, and this is going to be every frame, and I'll ease this vector 3 variable from scale coin to 0, 0, 0, and I'll change the ease type to something like bounce, and then I'll just finish the event. I'll just add a finished event here and go to the final stage where we destroy the coin. So I'll just say finished, and I'll say destroy self. So if I hit play, first of all I'll just save it and hit play, and you can see that okay, that was pretty fast. Maybe we should go to player and set the speed to something like 5, or just say 3 for that matter, so that we can see the coin vanish. Yeah, you can see that that was a pretty good effect, but there was no sound. We can add the sound later, but you know, there is a I mean, I suggest using the tools given here. The tools here are completely free. ludum.com/compo/tools. Then you can find all the free stuff there. Most of them are here. Yeah, Boscaceoil is a good place to make music. There is another, you know, program. It's called SFXR, I guess. So that's for making, you know, effects like a player jump, or like player collecting coin, or player getting killed, enemy getting killed, something like that. So it is for all purposes. So you can find all these tools there. I'll just drop a link in the description below so that you can get to it. So you can go to player main, to the coin, and here you can say play sound, play sound, and that's going to play a sound, but you need to specify that the sound would be near the camera so that we could hear it while playing the game. So that's a way of doing it. So we are finished with coin, and using the methods that I have told you before, you can even add coins to the platform templates that we have created. So that would be an addition to how to actually spawn coins, I guess. So make sure that the templates don't get confused where to put an obstacle and where to put a coin, so that it would be free for the player to, you know, understand the level. So this is the coin part. I'll just delete the coin. I'll just apply it and delete it. So now we can start working on, actually we need the coins for magnet. So let's just drop the coin again. Okay, maybe I didn't save it. Yeah, I actually didn't save it. Okay, that's weird. Okay, I should just go to project and then stick this to this. Yeah, so this is going to be our coin prefab. So I'll just hit apply. So now we have let's just put up some coins around the level so that we can actually use it for, you know, making the magnet. So just duplicate this and put it somewhere there. So after collecting this coin, the player goes in the middle, and when he picks up a magnet, he would, the coins would follow the player, and they would do the same thing as the coin did. So that is the way. So we'll just go back to coin, and I'll just add a new FSM, edit prefab. That would be easy. So I'll go to FSM and then see that, yeah, magnet. So in the first state, let's do a bool test, and this will check whether the player is using the magnet, has picked up the magnet or not. So this is going to be a global variable. You can either use it, like, since the player is a global variable, you can directly use a get FSM bool from the player. Otherwise you can do it direct bool test on a condition that the bool is a global variable. So I'll just say is magnet is active. If it's true, then follow player, and this is going to be an every frame event. So this state 2 will just move towards the player, which is actually this player. Okay, yeah, go to prefab, go to magnet. Yeah, I'll just drag this in over here. Okay, maybe this target object is not. Okay, you can add a prefab but not a scene object. So let's just make a basic prefab of the player. So I'll just go to create folder and I'll add prefabs, and then we'll just store the player main and hit save. And now we'll just go back to the coin and magnet, and now if we ouch that, and now if we drag this over here, maybe that should work. We could actually get the transform of the player and move to that place, but it would be good if this recognizes it. So let's just set the player as a global variable so that it recognizes. So I'll just set globals. I'll just global set game object. So that is going to be a variable which is the player, and I'll just save this and hit apply so that it would save into the prefab and hit save. And now we can go back to the magnet, and here you could use a global player, and you can do this. So when the coin actually goes to the player, it would trigger the first FSM directly, so we need not modify it. So I'll just hit apply. So now if I actually keep this true and hit play, all the coins should follow the player, which is happening. So that is cool. So that's the magnet power up, and the jetpack is almost the same, but that is depending upon how you used your player. So here you can see that we used rigid body, so we can set the gravity off and bring him to a particular height, and then we could use a basic GUI element that says when the bar is over, the play would return back to the ground. So that's one way of doing it. So yeah, so let's make this false for now, and I'll actually make a simple you know uh, magnet so that we can model it and place it here. Ouch. Okay, so here is our Q, and I'll just give it a value of 0.1. Okay, that's pretty small, I guess. Doesn't matter. So let's hit build and close this and remove the static stuff, and I'll go to face. I'll select this face right here, and I'll just extend it, and this is going to be something like that. I know it doesn't look that good, but I'm a very bad artist. So that's what our magnet is going to look like, I guess. That doesn't look good, but it's okay-ish. Now it looks better. So let's just select this game object and go to tools, global basic, and then go to export obj, and then I'll go to desktop, infinite runner, models, collectibles, and I'll say we have a new magnet, and I'll just hit save, and then we can delete this and go to Sculptris. Actually, we need to set the UVs before. Okay, we go to Blender first. Yeah, so that actually this workflow right here is kind of faster than how you create some other basic models. So we have an obj file, and that is going to be in my desktop, infinite runner, models, collectibles, magnet. Yeah, so where the hell is that? What? Did I just import it, or 73 bytes? Why is it that small? Is it still there? I can't see it. Come on. Okay, maybe I did not actually export it. Okay, it just exported it, but let's import it again. It is an OBJ file. Okay, there it is. It's 7.6 KB. So I'll just split the screen and go to UV editor. Just give it a 512. That's too much, actually. UVs. Actually, we need not make the UVs. We'll just select this tab and U, Smart UV project, and there we go. So let's export OBJ, and it's going to be the same thing. So now if I jump to Sculptris, actually Sculptris is not responding, I guess. Okay, there we go. OBJ desktop. Okay, not that. I picked up the wrong magnet. Yes, yes, yes. And there we go. We have our magnet finally. And then, okay, not black. I'll just paint it white and red. That's how it looks in the game, I guess. So there we finally have it. Paint it white. Now let's go to red. Now I'll just paint this part red. It looks horrible, but just this is just for the demonstration. I would use GIMP for, you know, polishing it, but this is how it looks. Does that look like a magnet in any way? It does, I guess. You hold shift to soften up the edges so that it blends. Just kidding, that's not cool. So okay, we need to save the texture map. I'll just save it as albedo underscore. Okay, magnet. What did I do? Finally, if I just remove this and go to project, and I'll go to models, collectibles, and now I'll just import the new magnet here, and you could see that the coins UVs have been applied to this, so it looks messy. So I'll just import this albedo and create a new material for this. So I'll just call it mag. Ouch, sorry. Yeah, mag. And then I'll stick this to the albedo, and there we go. There we have our little magnet that we have just created. So now if I actually turn it like this. Yeah, and what we need to do is create another script for this. I'll just add a box collider. I guess any type of collider would do, but 0.5, 0.8. Okay, that's good. Let's just save this as a prefab, and I will apply, go to Playmaker and do the same thing. Before that, I'll just go to, yeah, this FSM. I'll just copy this FSM right here and paste it for the magnet as well, except we don't want this, and I'll just set bool value, and I'll set this to magnet is active, and bool value is yes. So that's basically it. Make sure that it is a trigger and hit apply, and now I'll just check that magnet is active as false and then hit play. Now if I run through the magnet, I mean this magnet should not follow me, these two magnets should follow me, so that is a go sign for us. Maybe of Sculptris and Blender. This is a horrible paint stuff that I did. Okay, I didn't see that. Let's just play it again. Yeah, there we go. We can see that when the player actually had the magnet, the coins followed. So we should add another constraint to this, which is that we need not, because the coins that are way back, even they would actually follow the player. So that would be one of the problems that we would face in the game. Yeah, we should go back to the coin and go to magnet, edit prefab, and we'll just go to bool test. Magnet is active. If it's false, we'll go back to the first state. So that way it doesn't follow the player when the magnet is off. So just save this and go to inspector. Yeah, we edited the prefab, so that's okay. Now that we have the magnet functioning, we should give it a time, and that would be something like this. The randomizer, okay, we'll just call this game manager instead of game object, because we need all the FSMs that would contain in the scene, I mean all the variables, to be controlled by the game manager. So I'll just add a quick FSM. I'll just call this magnet control, and I'll just add a int variable. I'll just call this magnet power time, and this will control how many seconds does the magnet work. So let's just go to get, pool test. Magnet is active if it's true. If it is true, it would go to the second state, and it would wait for, okay, wait for, okay, this is a float, so we'll just add a float instead of an int, and this is going to finish. And we'll set bool value, and this is going to be false, and it would go back to the first state. Yeah, so we'll just save this and hit play. Okay, that doesn't work. Why isn't it working? Magnet is active as false, and magnet trigger event, set bool value is true, set scale, everything. This is good. Let's just say every frame and hit play. Yeah, there we go. It is working, and you can see that the magnet is active boolean is set to false after this happened. Let's just play it again so that you can see what exactly happened after the magnet has been picked up. Okay, maybe that happened very quickly, so let's just add some more coins all across. And okay, there we go. Yeah, because the magnet is like, you can see how fast is, yeah, you can see that, but this happens, which we don't want to. The coins stop when the magnet is picked up, so we don't want the distant coins to actually respond to this. Sorry for that. So we'll just fix that using a trigger event, or you can actually use a get distance. You can see that it is right here, so it would store the distance between two game objects. So if it is closer, let's say Yeah, we'll add a quick FSM to the coin, and I'll say check distance, and in this we'll just go to state, and here we'll check distance. Ouch. Yeah, I didn't even add it. Wow. So use owner, and we'll go to global player, and we'll store the result, and this is going to be, I'll just save it as distance. It is a float, so if it is okay, collected, move towards, yeah, get distance, and we'll just do a float compare, and if the distance is equals to 2, let's just test this before we get into the game. So the player is at minus 1.35, and this is at 3.25. If I drag this over there, let's check the x, so it's 3. So I'll just say if it's less, uh, if the distance is greater than 4, it would disable the FSM. Sorry. So I'll do an enable FSM, which is magnet. So I'll just disable that. So the distance, if the distance is greater than 4, then we will just disable it, and this would be every frame. I'll just save the scene in case Unity gets crashed. So it would enable the FSM, and we'll just keep this over here as well, and just say if it is less than that, it would just go back to the first state. Equals or less than, let's just say that, and it would be every frame, reset on exit, and that's cool. Let's just save this and hit play. Let's see what happens in this FSM. So you can see that, okay, this FSM itself is disabled. So this was the fault. Actually, the magnet is active. Let's monitor both the variables so that we can see where exactly the fault is. So you can see that it would make it true, and then it's false, and then let's just make this another instance of this somewhere around there, and just hit play. maybe it counted the, the time was too small. Magnet is active is false again. That's weird. We'll just go to magnet. Set woo is cool. And then let's see what is happening. It is being set to true, but there is some sort of trouble right here. So this is going to check whether the magnet is active as true, and then it's going to wait for, okay, maybe this, we didn't set the time. Yeah, that was the main problem all the time. So let's just give it a time of 3 seconds. So let's just hit play, and now it would work fine. So that was the central problem, which was not cool. Okay, this is not cool as well. Let's just pause the game and take a look at these coins right here. Collected, check distance. It is okay. How much is the distance? It's 36.4. What the hell? The distance is too much. Okay, maybe we just, that was unexpected. Let's just say the distance should be, okay, there we go. We didn't get distance in the second state. That was the biggest mistake of all. So we were forgetting that. So now it would work fine as soon as the magnet is taken. Yeah, there we go. That is cool. That is super cool. Okay, set it false. Yeah, so that this is working finally. Thank God. And there were some silly bugs, so that's fine. Our magnet system is working, and the art is incredible. I mean, it sucks, but the coins look good. I mean, they're definitely better than what what this magnet is, because I didn't actually put effort on this, because I just made it in this particular video. So I'll just upload a new version of the coin, not the coin, sorry, the magnet, and we'll make a jetpack for our player right here, which would take him high into, which will add force constantly, so that would keep him in the air. So that's going to be our next episode. I'll be uploading every of this prop onto a Dropbox account, and I'll just drop the links in the description. I'll not upload this. I'll just upload the script, the scenes and all. So until then, I'll see you in my next video. This is Crossfire signing out.